The new Calvary commander Huo Qubing is coming to Rise of Kingdoms, and today we are going to be talking about his new skills that were just released by the official Rise of Kingdoms Facebook group. So this was released this morning as of July 17th, 2023, and it says that we can expect to see Huo Qubing in Rise of Kingdoms as of next week. So that is going to be awesome. We are going to be able to spin the wheel, most likely the next mightiest governor. And honestly, I am a little bit shocked that he didn't come a little bit sooner, because we are in the middle of the Calvary MGE right now. Because, they are Calvary commanders, so I am really surprised that they did not just add them during the Calvary MGE, which I think would make a lot more sense, because then you'd be able to unlock the new Calvary commander right away in the new MGE as well, but as well as Huo Qubing in the Wheel of Fortune. But like I said, today we are going to be talking about his skills that were released and talking about implications of another commander that will be seen basically the end of his time in Rise of Kingdoms. And so since all of you guys have seen the thumbnail, the commander that is going to be basically dead in Rise of Kingdoms after this new commander enters the game is going to be XY. And the big reason why is because Huo Qubing is literally XY 2.0. He's basically XY Prime. He doesn't have the AoE like XY. We will be covering his skills here next. But XY is basically going to be dead in the water unless you are using 3 Calvary marches, which, some people still are. So XY, if you are thinking about investing in him, or have thought about investing in him, or even just halfway through investing in him, please stop, because you are going to want to invest in Huo Qubing instead of XY, because he fits the same mold that XY does in the open field. Basically, you can pair him with the same people that you can pair XY with and do extremely well. So without further ado, we are going to cover his skills here now. And so as you can see, his first skill is called the General of Agile Cavalry. Deals direct damage to target troop, damage factor 2700, 1350 if serving as a secondary, so you need him as the primer just like with Guan Yu, and reduces its march speed by 50% for 3 seconds. Holy crap, that is absolutely insane. This is just like mind blown on how good this active skill is. So much damage, reducing the march speed in the open field is absolutely incredible as well. The second skill here, Furgano Horses. Cavalry units led by this commander gain 40% increased attack, while outside Alliance territory, their cavalry units gain 15% increased march speed and deal 5% more damage to archer units. Sorry, Archer, you are gonna get destroyed by cavalry once again. I hope you enjoyed your time where Zhu Lang just destroyed all of the cavalry commanders and destroyed everything in his path. That day is no more with this new commander coming to Rise of Kingdoms. The third skill, the Dragon of the Desert. If this commander's troop has not been garrisoned in a building for at least 30 seconds, every time their troop enters combat, it will gain the following buffs for the first 15 seconds of battle. Deals 30% more skill damage, and active skills cost 150 less rage to use. After 15 seconds, their troop will deal 10% more normal attack damage. So this skill is interesting because you can't really be popping in and out of cities. So obviously you're not going to use this commander to city pop, but you are going to use him in obviously a big murder ball situation. And these first 15 seconds of battle are just absolutely incredible. And when it comes to testing, this skill is going to have to be something we keep in mind, because this skill is going to last for almost the entirety of the duel. And so I think when it comes to testing this commander, you're really going to want to have to test before and after that 15 seconds of downtime, where they're getting that massive buff of active skills costing 150 less rage and 30% more skill damage on a commander that already does a ton of skill damage. Like this commander is already looking extremely powerful. Now we come over here to the fourth skill, Battlefield Appropriations. When attacking an enemy troop, cavalry units led by this commander gain 30% increased defense, and their troops deal 20% more skill damage. This is when you are actively attacking somebody, not if someone's attacking you. So if you're walking and someone hits you, you are not getting this skill. Whenever the troop defeats an enemy troop, some of its slightly wounded units will be healed. Healing factor 1500. Cooldown 8 seconds, does not reset after exiting combat. And so after you kill an enemy troop, which doesn't always happen, so this skill is not gonna have that much of an effect here, but you will get some healing after you kill another troop. It can't happen over and over. It does have an 8-second cooldown. So, if you run into someone with like a ton of red marches, you're not going to just get massive healing for killing them all. It's going to be an 8-second cooldown there. And then we have the expertise here, and I'm sorry if I butchered this, but the Conqueror of Kentit. This is when attacking an enemy troop. So again, when attacking, cavalry units led by this commander gain 35% increased defense, and their troops deal 25% more skill damage. So you're getting a little bit of a buff from the previous skill, Battlefield Appropriations. So you're getting an extra 5% defense and extra 5% skill damage, which is really, really good. Whenever their troop defeats an enemy troop, it gains the Autumn Wind effect, and some of its slightly wounded units will be healed once again. This time, healing factor 3000, so you double that healing factor, but once again, 8-second cooldown. Autumn Wind also resets the rage of this commander's troops, all temporary buffs and debuffs, and the amount of time it has been in combat. And so this is really interesting because I think what this is going to do, and I could be wrong, so if I am wrong, let me know in the comments below. But if you're looking at Autumn Wind, it resets the rage of this commander's troops, all temporary buffs and debuffs, and the amount of time it's been in combat. And so then if we go right back to the Dragon of the Desert, and if it resets the amount of time you've been in the field, that might mean you get that 15 seconds of initial combat once again, of that 30% more skill damage and 150 less rage factor needed for the active skill. And so if that is the fact, I think that this makes it even more powerful. You know, obviously you do get to cleanse all your debuffs, but at the same time you cleanse all your buffs at the same time. But starting at that 30% more skill damage on top of his already insane skill damage buffs from that fourth skill of, you know, that 25% increased skill damage, plus, you know, having just so much damage factor in the first place from his active skill, this commander is going to be an absolute freaking nature in the open field. So next year I want to talk about the best pairings that we're going to see for this commander when he comes into game. And like I said before, I do think that we are going to see him being able to use the same kind of pairings as XY. But the first thing I want to talk about is just how many marches should you really be running with cavalry? And I think the answer is between 1 and 3. And 3 is going to be the top number. Obviously, I did just make a cavalry guide, so if you want to check that out, it will actually be a little bit outdated here already with this new commander coming in. So I will be remaking that video with this new commander and, you know, just adjusting where everything is. But right now, I think the best way to run cavalry is running 2 marches. And the 2 marches that you can run, you can really do this in either order. But I think your 2 options are going to be with Nevsky and Joan, you know, the good old bread and butter, Nevsky Joan. And then you can also run the new commander with William. And I think this is one of your 2 options that you can use. And all the commanders are going to be the same in these 2 options. But I think this is one of your 2 options if you don't want to break up your Nevsky Joan. And then also pairing Huo Qubing with William. I think this would be really good too because William kind of, you know, counters Huo Qubing. And so this is really going to be really good for you because you're pairing the commander with his counter, which I think is great. But at the same time, you know, William provides a little bit of defense that Huo Qubing can benefit from. And Huo Qubing brings a skill damage bonus, which is really, really good as well. Plus the fact that you really want to have AoE on pretty much every single march in some capacity in the open field. And, you know, William does have AoE up to 3 targets. And like I said before, there is a second pairing, which we'll talk about right here. So basically, you can either keep Nevsky Joan together or you can break them apart. And I think the way you do that is by running Nevsky with William, and then you would run Huo Qubing primary with Joan secondary. And this way you do have AoE on both marches once again. With Huo Qubing and Joan of Arc, you are going to have an even bigger reduced rage, which is really, really going to be nice because you know, Huo Qubing, he has that reduced rage factor of 150 for his skill damage. And he also would have Sacred Banner, which would restore 20 rage when the active skill fires off. So that makes the skills fire off even faster, which is really, really nice. On top of that, you'll have a faster speed bonus, which then you're able to catch up to people. And obviously you can hit them with that active skill damage, which is going to reduce their speed by 50%. So they're never going to be able to run away from you with this pairing. And on top of that, you have Sacred Banner being able to run twice. You know, if you have Joan of Arc expertise with this 4th skill. And, you know, that's just going to be absolutely insane to run in the open field, is running Huo Qubing and Joan of Arc. And then obviously Nevsky and William is a great march. You know, I'd give it like an S- or an A+, but I still think it's an amazing march because, you know, they pair very, very well together. But because, you know, people pair Nevsky Joan together just because they're two of the best cavalry units in the game. I would say they are the two best cavalry commanders in the game. But with this new commander, I think he is really going to crack the top 3 in the best commanders available for cavalry. And like I said before, I think the 2 different pairings you can run is either Nevsky with Joan of Arc, and then you can run Huo Qubing with William, or you can run Nevsky William, and then Huo Qubing and Joan of Arc. And personally, I will be expertising Huo Qubing when he comes out, and I also will be finishing my investment into William. You know, I do have some investment into him. I still have just under 700 gold heads here as well. And I do have enough gems to save up to max spin this wheel, or at least spin to, you know, 45 to get some of the best value. So I'll probably be spinning all 3 of his wheels when he comes out. That way I can run one of those 2 combos, and I will definitely be waiting for more testing. Because, you know, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of people testing these 2 combos. Of, you know, basically testing every single cavalry commander with Huo Qubing to see which one is really the best combo. And, you know, I'm really excited to see that testing because I think it will show that either Nevsky William and Huo Qubing with Joan, or Nevsky Joan and Huo Qubing with William are the 2 best cavalry pairings that you can use in the open field today. So once again, if you have ever thought recently about investing into XY, I would strongly discourage you from doing so unless you are planning on running 3 or more cavalry marches in the open field, which personally I don't necessarily recommend. I know there are people who run a lot of cavalry because they just love cavalry, and, you know, if you're one of those people, props to you. You'll probably still use XY, but if you're only running 1 or 2 cavalry marches, I think XY is going to be dead in the water for you, and that you should not even consider investing into him because he's just irrelevant at this point. And obviously, as of right now, before the new commander comes in the game, XY is probably the 4th best cavalry commander. You know, behind Nevsky, behind Joan, and behind William, he lands at number 4. But I think with Huo Qubing coming in, he will take that top 3 above William, and that William will now become the 4th best cavalry commander. And, you know, obviously XY not going to be a very good long-term investment at this point. You know, I've been saying this for a while that XY has going to be replaced, and the new commander will definitely replace him. And sure enough, here we are with the new cavalry commander that is going to be coming in and replacing XY, basically making him dead in the game. Which, you know, is sad because XY was one of the best commanders in the game when he first came out. And, you know, now we're seeing the fact that he is, you know, losing his value, which happens when we see power creep in Rise of Kingdoms. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this new commander, and if you guys are planning on expertising him, and what pairings you're planning to run with him. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. I'll see you later.